You're going to love this. Going to love this from the ABC News. Just before that breaking news, Queensland reported third case. A woman from Victoria. Of course, I've been saying that. The Victorian people are going to spread it to the other states. But check this out. Check this out. You're going to love this. Flu deaths drop in Australia as coronavirus restrictions save hundreds of lives. So they're saying here, straight up the top, that hundreds of lives are being saved because there's no flu anymore because of the coronavirus restrictions. Coronavirus and flu are the same thing. They're a strain. They're a virus, supposedly. How can one stop one and not stop the other? It does not make sense. I'll play this video first before I read it, and just get this. You're going to laugh. It is absolutely hysterical. I'm going to bust this to smithereens.
More than 4 months after we began changing our lives to stop the spread of COVID-19, one of the surprise benefits has been the low number of people with the flu. And that's thanks to our lockdown measures.
Of course, it's due to our lockdown measures. Maybe it's due to you changing seasonal flu to COVID cases and COVID deaths. Maybe it could just be that. Same symptoms, exactly the same symptoms. It might just be that. The flu just doesn't disappear because of lockdown. So all these years we could have locked down and none of us would have caught the flu. Before the COVID came, what a good idea. We should have all been in lockdown and wear masks and none of us would have got the flu. In how many years? God, since I was a kid, well before that as well. So who didn't come up with the idea, let's lock down and wear masks and practice social distancing and the flu will disappear?
Keeping your distance, closing borders, better hand hygiene.
Better hand hygiene? What, we don't fucking wash our hands? Closing borders? Oh yeah, let's close our borders. That'll stop a flu from being passed.
Closing some schools.
Oh, let's close schools as well. Don't worry about that. What about the economy? Let's shut down the economy.
And now wearing
masks does not mention the bit about closing businesses and virtually destroying the economy.
Masks.
It's great news. I think if we could get this sort of effect every year, we'd be very happy.
Looking at the month of June alone.
Who the fuck was that clown?
This sort of effect every year, we'd be very happy.
Professor Ian Barr, yeah, we're really happy.
June alone. Last year, 57,000 people were diagnosed with the flu.
That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people, June last year. That's a lot more than this COVID shit.
In June this year, it was just 200.
Look at that, will you? Look at that. It doesn't just drop like that because we closed down borders and went into lockdown. There's a reason for it because all these these have been classified as COVID statistics now. You cannot see that. There's something wrong with you.
116. Even more remarkable is the reduction in flu deaths. In June last year, 161 people died. In the same month this year, there were...
So it's gone from 161 to 0. So the whole flu has been eradicated because of a lockdown and all that other shit. And no one thought of that of all these other years before, even this COVID shit. 161 in June. How many COVIDs have died this year? Same number, and that's for the whole year. The whole, since March or even, whatever. Start of January. 7 months. That's what the figure is now. But this is 1 month in June last year of the supposed flu has dropped. Tell us about, March, April, May and July figures for the flu that have dropped to 0 as well. So the numbers that are dying are a lot less than this COVID bullshit, but the whole economy has been destroyed and lives have been destroyed. Suicide rates have skyrocketed. But no, it's just a good thing that the flu's gone, just magically disappeared Yeah, that's okay. Oh, but we're going to worry about these 165, 165 bloody supposed COVID cases this year. Oh, but hang on. It's because of the lockdown. If it wasn't for the lockdown, there'd be 1 million people died. That's what they'll say.
No deaths from the flu. And it's a trend that holds true across the year, with cases down from 132,000 to 21,000 this year.
Wow, what a drop. What a drop. 132,000 cases. How many cases of COVID have there been? 50-something thousand? 50-something thousand bullshit cases? And 150 deaths? Yeah? 50,000 cases. It's nearly triple. I know that's the whole year, but, no one worries about the flu cases. It doesn't matter. It's all about COVID now. Like, what a fucking lot of shit. 21,000, add the 50, whatever, COVID, that's 70. That's about right. That's 70,000. End of July. That'll come up with 132 by the end of the year. So nothing's changed. Fuck all has changed, and all you've done is just rename the bloody thing.
And only 36 deaths so far this season.
36 deaths. All of 2020. And 900 people died from the seasonal flu in 2019. 900 down to 36, 7 months in.
Having our borders closed meant that this year's influenza strain, which normally comes from the Northern Hemisphere winter, didn't make it down.
Oh, fucking what? Let's hear that shit again.
Which normally comes from the northern season. Having our borders closed meant that this year's influenza strain, which normally comes from the Northern Hemisphere winter, didn't make it down here.
What the fuck has the borders being closed got to do with the strain coming from the Northern Hemisphere? Please explain that again.
Our borders closed. 6 deaths so far this season. Having our borders closed meant that this year's influenza strain, which normally comes from the Northern Hemisphere winter, didn't make it down here.
Oh, so you're saying everyone that flies in from the north brings the seasonal flu, does it? Oh, well, yeah, okay, let's not let anyone in anymore. Let's just close the borders completely. Never let anyone come in during the winter so they don't bring this flu strain. That's a good idea, I reckon. Yeah, fuck plane travel. Eliminate it completely. Let's just close the borders. Fantastic idea. And we'll never have the seasonal flu again.
There's also been a big uptake in flu vaccinations.
Of course. Well done, people, taking your flu vaccination. Yeah, that's stop the flu. That was all propaganda last year. The biggest year ever, 900 people dying. Everyone get the flu vaccine. Oh, so everyone's got it now. And they're trying to tell us that that's the cause, that the 0 deaths in 2020. Talk about bullshit.
The latest data shows 8.8 million of us have had a flu jab. That's 2 million more than last year.
Oh, more than last year when 900 people died and there was panic. Everyone's getting the flu vaccine all of a sudden. What, 2/5 of the whole population? Fucking, you wouldn't get that shit near me. Yeah, they'll just make these numbers up. Bullshit.
Given the number of people that die from the flu outweighs the number of people who died from coronavirus in Australia.
Who is this fucking ugly old bag anyway? What did you say there?
Weighs the number of people who died from coronavirus in Australia. You might be thinking, why can't we just live with COVID-19?
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds fucking great. Oh, but no, that's no good. We're going to be in lockdown and wear masks for the rest of our lives.
The mortality rate or the death rate.
Who the fuck are you? Andrew Zushman. Zushman, and probably a Jew. Australian Medical Association. Who the fuck are you, fatso?
From COVID-19 is much higher than influenza.
Bullshit. Bullshit, it's higher than influenza. Prove it.
We know from previous years that around 1 in 1,000 people who become infected with influenza would die.
1 in 1,000. So you're saying it's 0.01. 1 in 1,000, really?
But for COVID-19, unfortunately, it's much higher at around 1%.
Ah, bull fucking shit, 1%. Yeah, supposedly it's 150 out of, I think the figure's actually 15,000 cases. I'll check it out. Yeah, and that works out to be 1%, does it? What about all the people who haven't even been tested and who supposedly got coronavirus? Because only 2 million people, not even that, have been tested out of a population of 25 million. So what about all the others that haven't been tested and are still alive? You don't count that? You don't count that? Of course you're going to count that. That'll bring the figures down, remarkably, down to 0.0001.
With uncertainty about when international travellers will be allowed into Australia, experts say it's too early to tell what the flu season might look like next year. Sophie Scott, ABC News.
Yeah, we know what it'll look like. It'll just be part of the script, whatever they're going to do with this COVID shit, and continue on next year. Oh, what a fucking joke. Yeah, the flu's gone, everyone. But, we still got to panic because it's COVID now. It's been replaced by COVID. Same symptoms. Oh, but it's 10 times deadly, according to Fatso there. Oh, looks like they haven't got rid of this after all. Just check it out. It was actually 15,000 cases, 167, roughly 1%. We got 47 in ICU. What a lot of crock. 275 in hospital. All these people are aged care that they've been taken out of aged care homes in the last 3 weeks in Melbourne. Then all of a sudden today they're making out like aged care homes is a big problem and they're only taking them out of there now. But it's been going on for 3 weeks. And there's the graph. There's the bullshit I showed you. That's the climb in cases. But that's the same climb in the aged care cases. And an increase of 1 under 50. And yeah, so back to the ABC bullshit. Hundreds of Australian flu deaths have been avoided because of the lockdown measures used to prevent the spread of COVID-19, experts say. Yep, so they're saying the lockdown has stopped the flu. Once again, why do we do this every year? And we never would have had this flu in all the years that I've been alive. No, it's definitely the lockdown that's caused it. No, it hasn't. It's just swapping the fucking names. That's all it is. The latest national statistics obtained by the ABC reveal from January to June, there were just 36 deaths from flu. 36 deaths, and last year was 900 for the whole year. We know they were all fudge figures anyway. The 900 was just so that you got the flu vaccine. That compares to 430 in the same period. 430, and we've only got 160 COVID. And we've destroyed the whole country because 1/3 of deaths to what we normally have. I couldn't give a fuck if it's COVID or whether it's whatever. Deaths are the thing that count. And if 3 times as many people died last year with the flu strain, well, fucking what's going on? We didn't close down the whole country last year. Ian Barr, Deputy Director of Bullshit. Oh, he's from the WHO. Said it was great news. Fucking great news. Oh, I asked, you couldn't give a fuck. It's great news that it's all been scripted the way you want. I think if we could get this sort of effect every year, we'd be very happy if we could script this every year and swap the flu to be COVID-19. Yeah, you would be fucking happy. And just promote fear every second on the media. And that's all that you want to talk about. All doom and gloom. Never a single bit of good news about this COVID shit. Oh, but this is good news, but don't make a big deal out of it. Has this been on the media every day? 24/7 every day for the last, when this article came out, 6 days ago? Yeah, no, it hasn't been. It hasn't been. If people heard this, they'd go, fucking what? What? You have to do exceptional things like having very, very high vaccination rates. Of course, it's about the vaccination rates. That's why this is happening. Or doing something dramatic like currently happening with the severe lockdown. So it's the vaccines and the lockdown that have got the influenza rate to 0. There's that chart I showed in the previous video. People were asking for it. The flu season was particularly severe last year, meaning a drop in influenza deaths from 2019 to 2020 is even more pronounced. Goes on, he's this Zushman fucking idiot. Said this year doctors were seeing much lower community rates of influenza infection. Oh, yeah. What it's telling us is that many of the measures that are working to contain the spread of BS19 are also very effective at reducing the flu. Oh, fuck. And no one thought of this all these years. Fuck the COVID. If you know, thought the flu was going to be a problem every year for the last 100 whatever years, why didn't anyone think about that? Having lockdowns in total from January to the end of June 19, more than 132,000 people were diagnosed. 132,000 last year as compared to 15,000 COVID this year. That's a huge difference. This year, almost 21,000 people were diagnosed during the same period. That's 1/6 a drop in the flu. Here's the chart. I don't want to go into it. There is the same shit. Drops down to 0. This is cases of laboratory confirmed influenza. Why flu cases drop? Closing schools, maintaining physical distancing, and boosting hand hygiene. Things that we never did. We never washed our hands before. Have all contributed to the massive decline in flu diagnoses and deaths. The main reasons are due to social distancing. Yeah, right, yeah. That's a great idea. No one ever come up with that. I took a 14-year-old kid doing a school project to come up with that after all these hundreds of years. Social distancing. That's dropped the flu to 0. What a fucking lot of bullshit. As influenza is spread just like COVID-19, is it? And the closure of schools probably also has its big part. Hang on. Schools aren't affected by this. Children under whatever. No children are affected by this, but they are by the flu. So having the flu disappearing has stopped children being sick or dying from the flu. So that should be a lot better than just having older people. I don't want to say that nothing gets older people, but COVID's only affecting older people. So if we could get rid of the flu, it affects a lot of younger people as well. That should be amazing. So we should all be happy about that. Fuck the COVID. Who cares about it? The closure of Australian borders, of course, yeah. Vaccination rates have jumped. Yeah, push the vaccination rates. 2 million doses more. Oh, yeah, that's good. Let's just double the doses till the end of the year. Everyone get vaccinated. What will happen next winter? This is fucking piece of garbage, Ian Barr. Where do they get these fucking criminals from? World Health Organization. What is not clear is what impact will have next year's flu season. Now, you know, it'll be whatever you want to script. It's all scripted bullshit. All the stats for COVID, stats for flu. It's all about getting the vaccination for the flu. You pushed that for years. Now it's about getting the vaccination for BS19. Australia's in the peak of its normal influenza. Oh, don't worry about this shit. Anyway, gone on enough. Fantastic. The flu's gone, but no one's making a big deal out of it because it was only because of lockdown and all that other shit, social distancing and closing borders and closing schools. Yeah, fucking right. All it was is swapping the name over from the flu to BS19.